Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jerry and Jamie 2 Up. We are heading home from a very successful Ozark Escape. And I thought I would kind of give you a little breakdown on the event and kind of give you my thoughts and stuff about the event. So, took off Thursday and headed down to the Ozark General Store to meet some guys from Texas. But on the way, Norm Kernan called me and said he was going to be in town on Wednesday. So he dropped down and came down to meet me, and we rode down the Pig Trail over to Cass and then over to the Ozark Cafe. Started off kind of chilly, but it warmed up very, very nicely in the afternoon. Went and had lunch at the Ozark General Store. Unfortunately, our friends that were coming up from Hot Springs, Arkansas, they got a little bit of a late start, so we saw them as we were heading out. We knew we'd meet up with them at the event, so it wasn't a big deal. So we rode over to, did Low Gap Road, rode over to Arkansas 21, went and saw our friends at the So Live, So Ride Moto Ranch. Dustin and Kate have done a great job there. If you guys are in Arkansas and you like to do some ADV stuff, that is the place to go. They have some camping, they've got glamping, they'll lead rides. Both of them are very talented, and that is the place to go if you want to do some ADV riding in the Ozarks. After we hung out with them, said hi to them, it was Kate's birthday this weekend, and so wanted to see her, but she had left. So happy birthday, Kate. We hope you enjoyed your special day. But we got back on the road and headed back into Eureka Springs. The weather was nice. It didn't rain on us, and had to really be happy about that. We got back about 3 o'clock, and then, of course, we get in the parking lot, and everybody's starting to show up. We had 57 riders signed up for the event, and I knew I had 5 or 6 that had canceled because they were a little afraid of the weather, which seems to happen a lot at that event, or the Ozark Escape, but then it always seems to pan out where it's never that rainy, which was the same way here this weekend. So we got up. Jamie had to work, so she came into town, brought her little Subaru, and we set up a canopy, had a registration table, brought the T-shirts, that sort of thing. So we set up a table, enjoyed some alcoholic beverages, and just enjoyed watching all the riders ride in and sign up. And, man, we had riders from Indiana, Ohio. Norm came the furthest, rode the furthest, as he came from Dayton, Ohio, and he rode. We had a few people who actually trailered, which I would have probably done too, because you were going to run into some rain coming to the event, and Norm did run into rain, about 3.5 hours of pretty good rain. So I just want to thank Norm for coming to the rally, and I know it was kind of miserable when he came, so hopefully he gets better weather today as he's riding back home. So we kind of hung out and just did our thing on Thursday night. Well, Friday came about, and the forecast was not looking good for Friday. So woke up to rain, and we had planned to do a lunch ride on Friday, which we still did. It looked like the rain was going to clear out about 10 o'clock, and so we just took our time, ate a light breakfast at the hotel, and then by 9:30, 10 o'clock, the group started rolling out and doing some riding. It was chilly, but it wasn't wet. The roads dried up, actually, and we made it to lunch at Flat Creek Restaurant in Cape Fear, Missouri. So did 76 is always good in Missouri. Went up to Roaring Rivers State Park. So it was a good little ride, only 130 miles round trip, but with the weather and everything, it was good. And there was threats of weather in the afternoon, so we wanted to get back before too late. We got back about 3 o'clock. It did rain later that evening, but the forecast for Saturday looked amazing, and we woke up, and it was amazing. A little chilly, but really nice weather to ride. It was, make sure you had your gear on, and it was perfect. And so there were multiple groups. I want to say a special thanks to Fast Fred, who led a couple groups in a couple days. Then everybody's kind of gets their own little, niche group together and goes and does their trips. And We did have some new people there, which was fantastic, and we got them paired up so they could ride with groups. And all in all, it was a very positive experience. Now, I know Jamie and I put this on, so we're going to say that, but we got some really good feedback from everybody saying they really enjoyed their time at the Ozark Escape. And we wound up with a total of 66 riders total. So that was awesome. And so Saturday, like I said, we rode down. Saturday, we went down and went to 21, over to the Low Gap Cafe in Jasper, then did 74, and all the cool stuff in Arkansas. Got back about 3 o'clock because we had the dinner at 5:30, and got back about 3 o'clock. We broke down the canopy and everything. One cool thing about these events is everybody just hangs out in the parking lots and kicks some tires and smokes some cigars. Some of the guys smoke cigars, and some of us just have a beer or two after we're done riding, and it's just, the camaraderie is just amazing. Really good group. We had multiple female riders and pillions, so that was good. We had a good mix. Dinner was amazing, so we always eat in the one side of the restaurant at Murdy Mays there in Eureka. And we had one waitress, Patsy. She's done this for 3 years in a row for us, and she was amazing. We did a 50-50 drawing, so half the proceeds went to a riding member that was at the rally, and then half went to the Dan Clark Fund for the MSTA. If you guys aren't familiar with that, just go to the Ride MSTA site and look up Dan Clark Fund. But it's where we give money back to people who purchase safety gear and things like that. So we raised $260. So Dave Prigel won the cash pot at the restaurant, and then the other 130, and we're going to move it up to 150, is going to go to the Dan Clark Fund. We sold some shirts there at the event, sold out of those, so I want to thank you guys for purchasing those. Didn't have any, I was asking around, and it seemed like everybody really enjoyed themselves. We did have one person, low side, I guess it was almost stopped low side, and they didn't hurt themselves or the bike. And then last night I did hear somebody was coming to the dinner, I think, and they were turning around in a little road and dropped his GS, and his pillion actually broke her arm. So they were in Cassville at the hospital getting a cast for her arm last night. So I hate when anybody gets hurt at one of our events, but nobody had a serious accident, and everybody's going to go home just fine, even though it may be a little banged up. But again, we just really enjoyed our time there. Jamie and I are always humbled by the support that we get from all the riders, and not just from Arkansas or Oklahoma, just the support we get from everybody in the MSTA. And we signed up 3 or 4 new members for the MSTA at that event, so that's part of our goal, right? You don't have to be an MSTA member to attend, and there were plenty that weren't, but there were plenty that were, and they really made everybody feel friendly. I'm very happy with the participation from the MSTA, because all of our riders really made it a point to get the new people involved and go say hi and have a chat. And there's some great characters out there, and really enjoyed our time talking to everybody. If you guys are thinking about attending an event, you really should. It's a pretty low key thing. We some are bigger than others. You got a couple flyby week in Canadian Valley, our big events that are going to draw a couple hundred people. We're not going to draw that many, and I don't know if I want to draw that many. That's a big event. 66 is a good number. It came short by 5 for the record, but I'll take 66, and no accidents. It was a great weekend. So with that being said, folks, I'm just now riding Missouri 90 to get home. One nice thing about this is this road is kind of like our road that it drops off about 3 miles from our house, and it's taking it easy today because I'm filming, but you can clip around on here pretty good, and the pavement's good. There's not usually a lot of traffic. So if you're in the area, Missouri 90 is one of the roads you want to visit. But really enjoyed our time at the Ozark Escape, and I want to thank Jamie for helping me out. We really worked her hard yesterday, and but I guess that's about it, folks. So if you're coming next week, I'll be putting out or coming next year, I'll be putting out the dates for next year pretty soon. But until then, folks, ride safe, be careful, be kind, and we'll see you at the next rally, which for me will be TriStar in Sparta, North Carolina in about 3 weeks. So we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.